there's a road which I forced upgrading. I went to the National Roads Committee Convention, the National National Roads Board Convention, and they pushed for movement of a road from Kera to Kenya. In other words, from to be in Kenya. That road has not yet been gazetted for 3 years in a row. I would like to know why the road has not been gazetted as at now.
Rueda, do you guys, your MPs also be fair to the minister? He's come with answers on questions that were asked. Now we are springing questions from every part of the country. But go ahead.
Asante Speaker. Ni vile mwakilishi wa wananchi na wakituona hapa leo tuko hatujauliza, tukienda huko tutakuwa tuna shida. Mwanzo nimpongeze waziri. Waziri ni muungwana sana. Tukienda ofisi yake tunapokelewa vizuri. Nataka tu waziri ajue kwamba Lamu Mashariki nafikiri ndio eneo bunge peke yake Kenya haina hata inchi moja ya barabara ya lami. Hata inchi moja hakuna. Na barabara zetu za Lamu Mashariki ni 3. Ni Mtangawanda tu Kizingitini, ambayo hiyo najua mwaijua. Naomba tafadhali muhakikishe mtuambie zimefikia vipi mikakati yake. Angalau na sisi tuwe tuna lami. Barabara ya pili ni kuanza Hindi tu Kiunga, ambayo ni kilomita kama 120. Hiyo barabara sahihi haipitiki kabisa kwa sababu ya wale wahalifu wanaweka IDs. Sasa imefungwa kabisa. Ward 2 Lamu Mashariki huwezi kupitia hiyo barabara mpaka upitie bahari. Sasa imefungwa, imekuwa lazima uende na boat, na saa nyingine bahari ni shida sana. Kwa hivyo naomba tu waziri alifikirie, kama hana majibu lakini afikirie hata pale palipabaya tu kutengeneze kidogo ili barabara ifunguke. Nasikia pesa ilipewa Mchina iko, atafute tu, na kama insecurity si shida, KDF wako tayari, wanafanya kazi vizuri, wanapeana security. Kama imeshindikana kwa ministry, wapewe KDF wafanye ili barabara ifunguke.
Asante sana. Give her.
Bwana Speaker, kwetu Lamu Mashariki mazingira tofauti. Sisi maeneo yetu sio ile nyinyi mnaita land mass, sisi ni water mass. Sasa kwetu zaidi kwa ministry yenu pia tunahitaji sea wall, yani zile ukuta za bahari. Sasa kuna kijiji kinaitwa Mbwajumwali, karibu kinabebwa na bahari chote, watoto wanabebwa, na kilijengwa kidogo, contractor hakumaliza kakimbia. Tafadhali iko pia kwa ministry yako, mtu angalilie. Asante bwana.
Aichumu Gichimu, member for Gishugu.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The people that I represent of Gishugu find themselves in a situation akin to Honorable Basil's. And I don't want to go to because the minister or the CS has already given an elaborate plan on how to revive the roads that I've already stalled. But my question is, are those roads that have already been contracted, are you able, just like many other areas that you've said, in Gishugu, to see to it that they are also motorable by grading and marraming? Because when these matters are scheduled for tarmacking through the normal CARA funds, mostly they are omitted because they've already been contracted for tarmacking. So actually, it's an area that you need to talk to the contractor. And if you have these plans, and you are saying soon, why don't you then talk to the contractors to go back on site, have an agreement with them that in 10 or 5 or whatever period, you'll be able to start paying them so that they can resume work, and our constituencies will actually benefit from these roads that have stalled for many years. Thank you.
Ms. Shimbogo. are general questions.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
So you should give a general policy direction.
Mheshimiwa Spika, napenda kumpongeza waziri na nimuulize swali la kivuko cha feri ya Mtongwe. Kivuko cha feri ya Mtongwe kiliweza kusitishwa kufanya huduma zake kwa wakazi wa Likoni. Na hivi sasa tukiangalia kivuko cha Likoni kumekuwa na msongamano mkubwa sana, hata kumekuwa na hatari kubwa sana za maajali. Ukiangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, hivi sasa tutakuwa na michezo ile ya Yala ambayo inakuja katika sehemu ya Mombasa. Namuuliza waziri, ni mikakati gani ambayo tutaweka ili tuweze kupunguza ule msongamano, kwa sababu kivuko cha Mtongwe kilikuwa kinapunguza msongamano wa abiria na kilikuwa kinasaidia sana. Na wakati kulikuwa na kile kivuko cha kuolea, kile tulikuwa tunaita Kiingereza floating bridge, pia kilikuwa kinasaidia. Na hivyo vyote vimeondolewa na hivi sasa kumekuwa na shida na kumekuwa na msongamano mbaya sana mpaka kuleta hatari za ajali nyingi. Swali lingine la mwisho ni barabara ya Dongo Kundu ambayo tunashukuru serikali wameng'ang'ana kutengeza barabara hii na imebakia hatua kidogo sana iweze kufunguliwa rasmi na Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Ruto. Lakini katika barabara hiyo kuna hatari, kuna mwanya ambao umewachwa wazi, na juzi tumempoteza kijana aliweza kutumbukia kwa sababu barabara hiyo iko juu na chini ni bahari. Kijana alitumbukia na kuweza kupoteza maisha yake. Tunakuomba waziri uangalie swala hilo ili hii barabara iweze kumalizwa, rais afungue rasmi na zile hatari za kupoteza maisha ya wale wanaotumia barabara hiyo iweze kuzingatiwa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Waziri.
Millie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was actually not going to ask a question because I thought that when there are questions, you respond to the very specific one. Nonetheless, because I'm seeing that the questions are also taking on policy direction.
Justem generis.
Thank you. I do appreciate, Mr. Speaker, because I think you understand, having served in the House, that members have needs in the constituency. I want to ask a question which is similar to what the Honorable Fogishugu has raised. And for me, it's really a policy issue that when you have commenced construction and then you stop because of lack of funds, it shouldn't be within the charity of the minister, but a policy issue in the ministry that you must allocate funds. Like right now, the road between Sindo and Bita is actually only about 2-3 kilometers. I was there last week, but you spend almost 1 hour because they actually messed up the road. We cannot allocate it in Kura. But when this young man called Morara wants to attack, he goes to my constituency, even though he went on the Karoli side. But because maybe Karoli is still relatively new, he was attacking me, saying, Millie, what are you doing? I'm not the one doing those roads. It's the national government. But because we are not assigning money for routine maintenance, what is the policy of the ministry? And if you don't have a policy, can you come up with a policy for just regular maintenance so that it's not dependent on police, on charity of a given CS, but it's a given that it must be allocated. Even if you want to do that road right now, I can't do anything. And it's a small portion that we can do with Kenya.
Thank you. Betsimba?
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa.
Minister, you will compress all this into a policy direction.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa ya kuweza kuuliza swali la ziada. Je, waziri anaufahamu barabara katika eneo bunge la Kisauni ambayo imeanza Kiembeni ipitie Mwakirunge kwenda Rabai? Na Mheshimiwa Rais alikuja kuanzisha rasmi barabara hiyo inayojengwa na Kera. Alipoondoka Mheshimiwa Rais, matingatinga yote yaliondoka yakamfuata. Anazo habari hizo na ana mipango gani kuweza kuendeleza hiyo barabara badala ya kumwekea aibu Mheshimiwa Rais?
Thank you. Let's have answers to those.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. I think Honorable Millie summarized it very well that we should have a policy framework on how to deal with roads which have been contracted and ensure that we do allocate funds so that those roads are not stranded, even for the purpose of motorability. I want to state here, honorable members, that I'll work very closely with the House to ensure that when we run our budgets, we do ensure that we give priority to ongoing projects. We do some parity and equitable distribution of resources, and that with the kind of data that is available in roads, we should be able to do that together. With respect to really the challenge that we've had for a long time on bending bills, the support that we've received from this House on the 7 shillings additional road maintenance levy, and which I have confirmed we are fairly advanced in securitizing to ensure that we raise some 170, 175 billion Kenya shillings, we should be able to get all contractors back to work. But more importantly, even as we do that, and because there is really, you can have sight of the entire runway on this particular project, we will push the contractors to make the roads motorable. Talking to a road like Sindombita, I want to confirm, Millie, that that particular road will now not stop. We are working on it. I don't know, but majorly because we are raising the funds to pay all the contractors. We had a bending bill on that road of about 540 million Kenya shillings on certificates issued, but there was only an allocation of 270 million. Having paid the full amount, you can see the contractor still with a hole of 300 million, but I've equally had a meeting with civil engineering construction company, the same company that did the road from Kwale Kinango, and I can assure us that because of what we are doing on securitization, a lot of contractors are seeing some hope, and we are able to get a number of them back to work. So a road like Sindo Mbita, I can assure honorable members, just to pick one, that it will not stop. With respect to Gishugu, Banagishimo, we will, like I've said, maintain. We are seeking to ensure that the contractors make the roads motorable. Traditionally, contractors should provide a road for users during construction. So we cannot be constructing a road, leaving heaps of soils. We then abandon works because of non-payment, and we leave the road not motorable. So we are going to, it's an agenda. I gave the example of Kinango Kwale, where we made the road really good on Moram, so that as they work on the tarmacking, and even albeit the challenge of pending bills and payments, the road or the users of the Kenyans users do not face that challenge. Honorable John Mutunga, I want to confirm, like when we met, that we're going to address the various challenges on the road programs in the country. We have built a good database that can help us to work together with the House to ensure that we do have a very amicable way of allocating funds to ongoing projects, to roads across the whole country with some level of equity. Captain Ruwaida, thank you for congratulating me, equally to a number of members who have congratulated me today. I want to confirm that we'll work very closely together. Mtakawanda Road to Kisingitini, we'll tender it next week. We'll put it to tender next week. With respect to, I'm just saying, I mean, there's a lot of tendering happening next week. With respect to, I think I mentioned Tigania West for John. With respect to, what was the other, Tharakanithi Bridge, I want to confirm we are all concerned about this Tharakanithi Bridge, and we are paying a lot of attention. We have installed a lot of bumps or humps on the road. We have installed signage and will continue to improve. We have separated the uplink traffic from the downlink traffic. We are in the process of finalizing the redesign for the new bridge, which is currently ongoing, and we will put funds. You are aware that leadership at every level has made commitment to correcting Nithi Bridge. We don't like the name Killer Bridge. We should get it back to Nithi Bridge. And so we are paying attention to that. Our potholes on this road that is complicated and that we have had to assign or give to so many contractors, Matu, Ikalagala, I want to confirm that we will work on the potholes. Like I've said, we'll make the roads motorable. And with the 4 or 5 contractors on site, the issue of pending bills and the fundraising we are doing through securitization, we are going to pay attention and ensure that these small sections with all these contractors, Sifel, Kito, Usongiro, and so on and so forth, address and do what they are supposed to do. The floating bridge in, where is this? In Mutongwe. We removed the floating bridge in Mutongwe because it had its own challenges. We know the challenges we are facing with the Likoni ferry, but luckily, Mishimbogo, we are finalizing the Dongokundu Kibundani road, which is basically finished. I think we are almost seeking a date for official commissioning of that road, and we will move most of the traffic. We'll work together with the leadership. I was in Mombasa last week, and we had a session with the governor for Mombasa, Abdul Swamad, and we want to work together to see how to decongest Likoni ferry, how to even provide some land around the ferry as a holding ground, which I do know that Kenya Railways did lease out to some other investor, and we are working to address that small challenge. So, honorable members, let me just say that allow us to work in another 1-2 months, max 3 months, to sort out the pending bills through securitization of the 7 shillings. I want to thank the House, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, for the support we have received in the securitization process. This will go a long way in sorting out the pending bills, which amounts to about 174 billion today. And we can get all the contractors back to work. We'll be more cautious, we'll be more careful to ensure that we do not get into that situation by assigning new projects where there is no revenue or investments